My husband and I have 6 children total and live in a 4-bedroom house. We have 2 sons together, younger grammar school age, and I have a son from a previous relationship, teen, and I have 3 stepchildren, 20 female, teen male, and female. For most of the time that we lived in the house, we had 2 kids per room, with the youngest boy sharing, the older boy sharing, and the girl sharing. Things changed a couple of years ago. My oldest stepdaughter finished school and is attending university locally. The girls decided at this point that instead of sharing a bedroom at their dad's and sharing a bedroom at their mom's, they would each take one room as their permanent bedroom. So the teen girl lives with us full-time and the 20-year-old lives with her mom full-time. They both visit the other parent's house regularly. My teen stepson has his own bedroom at his mom's house, but still splits time between each parent's house, mostly 50 to 50. My son lives full-time with us, as he doesn't have much of a relationship with his dad. My son and stepson don't get on that well, and they can often be heard screaming at each other in their bedroom. Recently, I asked my stepson why he doesn't live full-time with his mom, so he and my son could have a similar arrangement as their sisters. This way, both of the boys would have their own rooms. He would obviously still visit, as his older sister does, and we could figure something out, like a futon instead of a bed in their room. So my son has more space when the stepson is not there. My stepson overreacted to my suggestion and is trying to make out like I'm kicking him out, when really I'm just thinking of a better use of space. It's unfair that all the older kids, but my son have their own rooms at one of their parents' house. My son likes the idea and has brought it up to his stepbrother a few more times since I originally suggested it, and it has caused arguments between them. He's now considering it. My husband is angry with me for suggesting his son move permanently to his mom's. If this happens, he and his son would have less of a close relationship. My husband favors his oldest son over our boys. He also thinks I'm making his son feel like he's being forced out. However, his daughter's already doing the same thing gave me the idea because it worked out well for them and they both seemed happier. I'm also not forcing this to happen. I was just suggesting it to him. It would be completely up to him. Is this a good plan, or am I an idiot for bringing it up? Did he overreact though? Did he? Or did he act like a teen whose stepmother asked him to move out of his father's house after listening to him get verbally abused by her son for a few years? Lady, you aren't fooling anyone. You should go live with your parents with your kids, so your husband has better use of your waste of space. You are the idiot and a step monster. OMG, a better use of space. OP, you're literally telling your stepson that he's a waste of space. How do you not see that? A conversation should have been had with your husband first about this and no further. Instead, you told your stepson he was a waste of space and should consider moving out, and also explain to your son how a move would benefit him and how much he deserves this. So now you've all ganged up on him. What a horrible situation you've made for your stepson. Your husband must step in immediately if you haven't already profoundly apologized. Pretend for just 1 minute that your husband asked your son why he doesn't move to his biological father's house full-time. How would that make you feel? How would that make your son feel? You already forced his other 2 daughters out, and don't even see it as bad because it goes with your my own nuclear family's nonsense. You're a walking embarrassment, right? OP is trying to kick the stepson out. She and her son are making it to the point that the stepson will feel uncomfortable in his own house. This is why step-parents have such a hard time trying to build trust with their spouse's children. This is the fear most children have when their parents marry someone else. They fear being forced out and pushed to the side for the new spouse and their new kids. Let's not forget, my husband favors his oldest son over our boys. I wonder if he favors the oldest because OP favors her bio kids, and he's just trying to ensure his son doesn't feel excluded. OP, you are the idiot. You've done a stellar job of creating a hostile living environment for your stepson. Step-parents like you belong in a Disney movie, not as the good guy. 2 weeks ago, I, 27 male, along with 2 other friends, made our annual week-long trip to our mutual friend Alex's cottage. For years, one of our longest running jokes was that I should bring my 46-foot saltwater fishing boat to the lake. This year, after looking up the lake's policies, we decided to make it a reality. To make this happen, we all split the cost of both the permit and the marina fees. The first 4 days of fishing and boating went very well. However, the same couldn't be said for the 5th. The issue started over some fishing we did in the same bay as Alex's cottage. After using my fish finder, we found a prime spot on the other side of it. Roughly an hour into our being there, a woman, 20 to 30s, we didn't know, kayaked across the bay to us. When she got there, she asked to speak to the boat's owner. When I introduced myself to her, she started saying that the boat wasn't allowed on the lake. My response to her was to point at the lake permit in the windscreen before asking her to leave and not disturb us anymore. This made her furious, and she started cussing and screaming at us. For safety reasons, Alex started recording her just in case she did anything stupid. This only made things worse, and she started trying to pull up our fishing and anchor lines. In doing this, she wound up breaking my $3,000 rod. This was when her demeanor did a 180, and she began to plead with us not to call the police. As collateral, she offered to replace it and pay for next year's permit. I rejected the offer and used my VHF to call for police assistance right in front of her. The result was her getting fined for angler harassment and arrested for felony destruction of property. 2 days after all this happened, Alex and his parents found themselves being visited by this woman's mother. From what he told me, she started going off on them and saying we're idiots for getting her daughter arrested. She believes we should have accepted her apologies and offered to replace it. Looking back, I am conflicted, as what I did could be considered vengeful, as she legitimately offered to make amends. Am I the idiot for getting her arrested? Not the idiot. There's no reason to believe a woman harassing you would pay you back what she broke. Also, her mom is witness intimidating, and I think you should call the for giggles. Of all the similar situations I've been in, the times that I did not call the police came back to bite me in the butt. It sucks that she got charges and fines. Maybe next time she'll think twice before being a terror. Exactly. The way the daughter acted, and then how the parents acted towards you, would have only solidified my confidence that calling the police was the action. It's clear that the daughter never faced the consequences from the parents, and therefore grew up entitled and not thinking that she should have to deal with the consequences of her actions. The fact that a grown woman has mommy out fighting battles for her says a lot. You do not owe grace to someone initiating violent, destructive, and unpredictable behavior. Who cares what their mother thinks? Perhaps she should have raised her daughter better, or ensured she would not harass others if she had an issue where she couldn't control herself. My fiancé, 31 male, and I, 30 female, were fortunate enough to land well-paying remote and flexible jobs so we could get a bigger house. We don't plan on any children, and instead gave all of our love to our animals. We currently have 4 cats, 2 dogs, and 3 horses, and in the future we want to be able to purchase a farm and get more animals. I absolutely love each of them, and we make sure they all get the care and love they deserve since all the cats and dogs were rescued, and some had issues dealing with humans. Horses are a part of my hobby, so I also make sure that they enjoy their lives and can spend most of the time outside and not in the stables. It's also worth mentioning that one of the cats is 18 and has been with me since she was a kitten, and one of the horses has been with me since he was 4. He's now 25, so I always refer to them as my precious babies. My sister-in-law, Kate, seems to have an issue with the way we refer to our animals, especially the way I call my oldest ones. I had explained to her multiple times that considering how old they are and how long they've been with me, they're like my children as I've taken care of them and looked after them when they were poor. However, Kate still feels like it's disrespectful to call them babies as they're not kids, and because our own children are not invited to our house and can't spend time with the animals. It got worse this week as Kate wanted to come and stay for a few days in our house with the kids and our partner, and have a winter wonderland photo shoot with the animals as we got a decent amount of snow over here in the past few days. I told her she's not allowed as her children are still very young and seem unable to treat the animals with care and the respect they deserve, especially since most of them are rescued. Kate didn't like my answer and blew up, calling me an idiot for comparing animals to children, making them more important, and not allowing her to visit. Am I the idiot? Edit for context. Kids are toddlers and kindergarten age, and my fiancé is on my side here as he also cares about the animals deeply and has told his sister her kids need to learn how to behave around animals first and treat them with respect and care. He can also spend family time with them as we do different activities every few weeks. Not the idiot. Kate seems to have a bigger issue, and I think it's called jealousy. She's mad because you won't let her use your very nice house as a getaway for her and the kids, and she'll have to just get over it. It's your home, not a vacation spot or a petting zoo. She wants to use Opie's home for a photo shoot. She probably sees the kids as props too. Look, people who call their pets their children make me want to roll my eyes so hard I can read my own mind. However, it's your absolute right to do so. In my opinion, is 100% a me problem. Kate needs to come off her high horse and stop trying to use your home in kindness. She also sounds entitled. There's a certain type of person who gets mad at childless relatives for having nice things that they don't need when those things could be used to help their own kids. They have so much and they don't have kids. They're selfish not to contribute more to my kids. They don't have kids to raise and they don't need it. They should be giving more to my kids. Kate needs to learn that the world does not revolve around her two children. Yesterday, I, 20 female, was driving to school and I ran out of gas in the middle of the road. Basically, my car just stalled. I knew I needed gas on Monday, but I just kept forgetting to stop. I also forgot my phone, and I had no idea what I would do. So honestly, my reaction to stressful situations is to just cry to clear my head so I can think. I guess I didn't realize that because I was in the middle lane. I caused a pretty big backup which made me more stressed and I was crying because I didn't know how to get out of this predicament. These really nice guys in a construction truck pulled up next to me and asked if I needed help. I said yes. Not only did they push my car out, but they also gave me a ride to the gas station and even paid for my gas in the little tank thingy, and then gave me a ride back and then even followed me to the gas station to make sure I made it safely. They were literally the nicest group of guys I'd ever met. They refused to take any money or let me buy them lunch or anything. When I told my brother about what happened, he said I had a long line of making stupid decisions, but I can't be this big of an idiot to get in a car with strange men. I said this is his natural negativity when I'm positive. He said if our dad found out about this, he was going to be angry and I was ignorant for putting myself at risk and an idiot. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You ran out of gas because you forgot to fill up. You forgot your phone. You didn't try to get help despite the extremely dangerous situation of blocking traffic. Then you blindly got in a car with strangers. Girl, you have the executive function and decision-making skills of someone who should absolutely not be driving a one-ton automobile around other people. I don't know how people can forget to fill up a gas tank to the point they run out in the middle of a road, and not to forget those many people who didn't make it to an important appointment or meeting in time, or those in a medical emergency, trying to get to the hospital or an ambulance trying to reach someone. People like her are just completely living in a bubble of self-importance. You are an idiot for allowing yourself to endanger and inconvenience an entire 3-lane highway because you were too forgetful and foolish to get gas a week ago, and you didn't deal with it at all. You couldn't have. You didn't even have a phone. You just sat there being useless and crying until a saint in a truck dealt with literally all of it. I realize you're only 20, but you must get a grip and grow up fast. You're a danger to yourself and others. You should be ashamed. Yeah, no gas, no phone, crying in the middle lane until a big strong man saved you. You acted like a grotesque stereotype of the helpless little woman. I'm sorry, my dear, but you must get it together. I, 52 male, have 2 kids, a son 26 and a daughter 19. When my son went to college, I thought college would open up opportunities and he was supposed to major in computer science, but failed many classes and changes his major to something less lucrative. He went out of state and now I realize that this was a poor investment. I didn't want to make the same mistakes with my daughter. She also wants to do computer science and last year she got into a foreign university in the UK, which she says is like Stanford over there, Cambridge. I didn't want the same thing to happen, so I told her I couldn't help her pay for that and to go to a local state university or community college and then transfer. She ended up not going and deferred her admission to see if this year she could get a loan, which I'm not for, but it is her life, or if she could get a scholarship for a better American college. She seemed a little annoyed at me since effectively her brother got more money, but that was before I knew better. I can afford the same for her, but it would be tighter now, and I don't want the same thing to happen, especially if it would be for a foreign degree. I suspect the same thing could happen to her, since her brother was typically the brighter one, while she just pushed herself in the last years of school. Am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. Gee, my female kid wants to go to one of the top universities in the world, but she's the dumb one. And since my male child couldn't hack it, clearly she won't either. Good luck maintaining that relationship. Good luck mansplaining is how I read it at first. His logic is definitely mansplaining. and he won't maintain that relationship with his daughter. So sad when daddy's prized son disappoints him. I bet he's the only one who thinks his son is smarter than his daughter. No wonder the daughter wants to go across the ocean to get away from this guy. Yeah, this sounds nuts. A foreign degree? Let's talk about that because, incredibly, you seem to not know what Cambridge is. Cambridge University, UK world ranking number 2, just after MIT. You're punishing your daughter for what you view as your son's mistakes, when you should be over the moon that she got into Cambridge. Give her at least as much as you gave your son, and while you're at it, maybe give her a cake saying congratulations. Everyone's talking about judging her based on his son's mistakes. I don't see the mistake. So he changed his major to something he was a better fit for. He's your child, not an investment. Celebrate his accomplishments, and she got into one of the best schools in the world. Yes, you are the idiot to both your children. I audibly gasped at this story. This can't be real. I wholeheartedly hope his son lives far away and is happy with the decision he made. I really hope so. I almost feel like Opie is just as much an idiot for this as the way he's treating his clearly very talented and bright daughter. I hope she gets in, moves away, and never looks back. She has an incredibly bright future ahead of her. Update. Genuinely, thanks for calling me out and making me do more research on Cambridge. I think I understand better now. I knew about it, but maybe I underestimated it for being foreign. I'll definitely reconsider. She still has managed to defer her admission,